South Africa's economy relies heavily on migrant workers. Mining and especially the hospitality and retail sectors depend on cheap labor. With an unemployment rate of nearly 30%, there's a growing sentiment among South Africans that foreigners are prospering economically where locals are not. Small businesses owned by Somalians and Nigerians were set on fire and looted this week, and a march against foreigners took place in the South African capital.
Our shops, our business, our properties have been destroyed in location. Now we suffer, most of our people, even they took our stuff here.
In what's seen as retaliation for the attacks, the offices of South African multinationals operating in Nigeria have been vandalized and their staff told to leave by next week.
We are angry. We are angry. South Africans are our friends, and we have not attacked them. I have South African friends living in Abuja, living in Lagos, all over Nigeria. There are South African businesses established in Nigeria, and we have not burnt down any. We have not attacked them in any way. We stand for them. Why is South Africa attacking us?
When similar xenophobic attacks broke out a few years ago, Nigeria's government discussed bringing in business laws that would make it tougher for South African corporates to operate in the country. And on South Africa's border with Mozambique, protesters blocked trucks from bringing in goods, hampering trade between the two countries. The misconception that foreigners are stealing jobs from South Africans has persisted for years. But the Migration for Work Research Consortium has found that of the country's 33 million working population, only 4% could be classified as foreign migrants. And these migrants are far more likely to run their own businesses. 11% are employers and 21% are self-employed, a much higher percentage than South Africa's own workforce. Yet the government has done little to calm tensions. While condemning the xenophobic attacks, Home Affairs Minister Malusi Gigaba blames companies employing foreigners illegally.
Companies be warned, businesses be warned. We are coming for you. We will charge the managers. And yes, if you employ an undocumented immigrant, we are going to deport that immigrant.
But such comments are likely to only increase retaliation from other African countries. Andre-Pierre du Plessis, TRT World.
And AP joins me now on set for more on this. AP, so why have relations between South Africans and foreigners working in South Africa deteriorated so much?
So this is nothing new. This has been continuing for quite a long time. And really to understand why that is, you need to go back all the way to 1948, which is when the then National Party won the elections. This is the notorious Afrikaner-led party that introduced apartheid legislation. They introduced something called job reservation, where you were awarded a job based on the color of your skin. And white people were given highly skilled jobs, while black people were given meager, low-paid jobs. Now, fast forward to 1994, when the country became a democracy, the country's borders opened to the entire continent. This is the most industrialized country in Africa, and obviously it invited all these economic migrants who really, without skills, they were, or the jobs that they were able to get most easily were these low-paid jobs previously reserved for black people. Black people tried to enter the professional job market, but they did not have the education, and nearly 25 years later, that's still the case.
Yeah, some entrenched problems there. AP, you are from South Africa, you've reported from there. What does the government need to do you think, to stop this cycle of violence getting completely out of control?
Well, President Jacob Zuma needs to do more in creating actual jobs. The unemployment number has just increased since he took office. I want to read you a statement that he made today. He says many citizens of other countries living in South Africa are law-abiding and contribute to the economy of the country positively. Goes on to say it is wrong to brandish all non-nationals as drug dealers or human traffickers. Now, already in that quote, you can see he said South Africans aren't xenophobic. This is purely a crime problem. This is South Africans' way of expressing their anger. And according to him, and also according to those comments we heard from the Minister of Home Affairs, they still believe or they refuse to kill this idea that foreigners are also to blame for the high crime in the country.
Some really endemic problems, some really very intractable problems there for South Africa. AP, thank you very much indeed, Andre-Pierre du Plessis there.